of the damned.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the NLG Show. And,
Hi!
poor Nate. Nate, I'm gonna fix your computer. That's it. It's my mission. My goal.
Okay.
Actually, we can partially hear you now, I think.
Yeah, because the mic is actually in my mouth.
Soon we have a colonoscopy going on.
It's better than nothing. So, well, it's Friday night. What's up, guys?
Friday night, such nice.
Yes, Nathan. The only game Nathan owns now. It's the only game he has.
Traded in the rest.
Yep.
I have a Spider-Man PS4 on the way.
Yeah. You're gonna have to tell this story tonight because you are the luckiest guy I have ever seen in my life. I thought winning a game here, a game there was luck, but oh my goodness.
It's not luck if your name is Super Cooper, and that's like a given.
Yeah, but I think Nate's got it beat this time around. So you gotta wait till you hear this story. This is yeah.
All it costed was having to put my mic in my mouth.
So, what's up, everybody? How you guys doing today?
Exhausted, but good.
I know. So
ready for weekend to be more exhausted.
Yeah, what? Not mine. Mine's gonna be pretty laid back because I'm not doing much. Actually, I got a gig on Sunday, so cool. I got a 4-hour band gig on Sunday.
Nice.
So, yeah, always nice. And it's one of our it's one of my more favorite jobs. It's a crab feast at the Knights of Columbus, and they've had us now since our 5th year doing it, and they really enjoy having us there. So it'll be a nice little afternoon. Make some money, get money for iCAD Has TV. So
nice.
Well, I'm working it. I'm working as best I can. The wife is she's relenting a little bit, but now she's starting to re-relent. She said, "Well, I didn't say when." I'm like, "Oh, don't you
one of those, huh?
Yeah, don't you do that to me." Well, first she said, "Well, do you want that, or do you want to get a new bed? Because our sleep number bed is almost 20 years old, and it's kind of falling apart a little bit." And I said, "Oh, well, okay. Sleep versus TV. My TV is still pretty good."
You would sleep in front of the TV, so
this is true. This is true. I do that sometimes. So I was like, "Oh, all right." So we were looking around at like bed in the box type stuff, and then I went on a YouTube channel that showed me how to kind of sort of fix my bed. So I kind of sort of fixed it. So now I've got back to iCAD Has TV. So
sounds like you took my luck.
Yeah, not quite. So, but I'm working on it, and that's where I'm at right now. So, I'm hopeful, and so this money goes towards the iCAD Has TV.
We've done pretty well with our Casper bed. That's been pretty worthwhile.
You did say you got. I thought you, for some reason, I thought you had gotten the purple, but you got the My Pillow. That's what you got. That I was.
Right. Yeah, we had looked at the purple, but then there was some concern about a kind of mysterious small plastic bead dust that it generated. So we went with the Casper instead, and the My Pillow, which is badass.
Cool. I'm thinking about getting the My Pillow topper, which you can put on top of any of the beds, and then we just inflate the two sides of the bed we have, and then just put the topper on top of it and be done. So I'm still working that, but I'm trying to work it around TV because Best Buy is it's a horrible place for me right now.
Right.
So anyway, that's what's going on for me. So, oh my goodness. So once again, in a slow week, we're gonna bite on a couple of things and then get the hell out of here and try to enjoy a gaming-filled weekend.
Indeed.
So what's up, Jack? What's up, Jeremy? And you know what? I'm thinking afterwards, I'm going to get on and play some Full Spectrum Warrior and try to get through the original tutorials again, like I did before, so I can stream some of that. I'm finding some interesting things out about backward compatibility. I shared with you guys earlier in the Discord room, in the Xbox Discord room, and one of them was, I found on Digital Foundry. Let me see if I can pull that picture up, because there's some significant things going on that could possibly be future boons for backward compatibility. Now, one thing I will say, as people have been watching me play Breakdown, I have come to find out the two things on the OG Xbox backward compatibility that are missing are widescreen mode if the game did not support it natively.
Right, like Ninja
Gaiden and Breakdown. Because I was playing it on my actual Xbox and it widescreened it out. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. Well, I put it into the Xbox One X and it was letterboxed. I'm like, what the hell?
Huh.
But then I found a list of games that OG Xbox games that were native 16:9, and Full Spectrum Warrior is one of them. So I put it in, installed it. The title screen came up. The title screen was letterboxed, and I'm like, well, crap. And then the game started, and it widescreen. So
nice.
Yeah. So, I'll tell you, wait till I start streaming it, because it looks great. It aged very nicely. Where Breakdown, didn't age as well, although it's still great. Full Spectrum Warrior looks very much almost like a 360 game. So looking forward to you guys seeing that. Earlier this week, myself and Rick Lagdesi, our friend from Warhorse Studios, and Peter were playing a little GRAW, Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter, which, easily one of my more favorite of the Ghost Recon games.
Yeah, so good.
And I thought something was up. I thought there was something. I said to Rick, like, right when we started playing, look how smooth this is. I don't remember the game being this smooth. And Rick said, yeah, you're right. There's something different about how the game looks. And I got onto our NLG YouTube page, and I always have some links that I like to look at from there. And one of the videos was a Digital Foundry video about this game. And the subject of the video was, is this forward compatibility? So of course I had to watch it because I was very intrigued. Come to find out, I was right. GRAW on the Xbox 360 was 30 frames per second, had a 30 frame cap. But there must be some code in there that allows it to unlock with the emulator, the Xbox One X emulator for 360. Because, I don't know, do you see this? 30 frames per second on the 360, 60, it was hitting 60 on the Xbox One X. That is something no other game so far has done.
Oh, nice.
None. No other game has done this. Now on the S, if you have an S model, you get about 40 to 50. But that's still That is crazy.
Yeah, no, that's a first for sure. Because other versions, other games, you've seen them hit their targets better, but not ever exceed what the original game did.
Right. So, this is cool. This is really cool, and of course, it just happens to be on one of my favorite Ghost Recon games. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, that helps.
I would love to hear, and maybe we'll I'll try to get him into because he wants to play with us. I'm interested in Christian Allen's take on this because this was his baby. So, hey, Fastback's in the chat, and I want to thank him for at least trying to get us a Sea of Thieves code. I'm really really sorry it was an expired code. I should have checked it before we advertised it. That's my fault. Maybe what we'll do is we'll work towards when Twitch starts sending us money, we'll hook you guys up. So maybe we'll find some kind of alternative thing to hook you guys up with. But it sometimes just happens, guys. So anyway, I just wanted to show you guys that real quick.
Yeah.
I thought that was really, really cool.
That is good stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. We'll just have to see where that goes.
And shout out to Project Jeff 85. I watch Gaming Historian stuff too. I think his stuff is fantastic. He's got some great. He does some great deep dives into things. His stuff on the Sega consoles was pretty spot on, and very fair. So, all right. So, the reason I've gathered us all together.
Come gather around, people, wherever you roam.
It is congratulatory time for our own broken laptop Nate. That's what we're gonna call him. Broke laptop Nate. He, with the help of his trusty crew, as soon as I get the going here, he has sailed the 7 seas of Sea of Thieves, and he has duly made it. Let's see if I can find him here.
Yeah, I'm not here.
To Pirate Legend.
Pirate Legend.
Woohoo! Arg! It's epic.
Yes. He is 50-50-50. Now explain what Pirate Legend is there, Nathan.
Well, you see, once you get there, just like everybody says, there's nothing to do, and the game's over. No, not really. No, it's actually quite the opposite. The missions are actually better because you get like 2 of each mission type every time you do the legendary mission.
All right, so tell us how you got here.
How I got there? Oh,
yes.
Well, I just did a lot of missions with my friends.
Yep. I spent a lot of time playing, and also forts.
Forts, yes.
Yes.
But you have to get lucky with forts, unless you hit, because those PvP PC players.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite an accomplishment, Nate, to become a Pirate Legend on the Xbox using...
Right.
Right.
Just to do it legit on the Xbox.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Because
So what have you
the majority we've seen is all PC.
Right.
I know one other one that's on Xbox, which is Avers.
So tell us what your stats had to be to get Pirate Legend. That's what I'm trying to get at. What are you?
Oh,
tell the folks.
I thought you already... I thought you said it.
No,
50-50-50.
Well, but tell them. Who knows what that means? I don't even know what that means. Tell us what that means.
It's the max level of Gold Hoarders.
Okay.
And then it's max level of Order of the Souls. And it's the max level of the Merchant.
All right.
Now, Crazy One taught me that you get a hell of a lot of money from doing Merchant. So I actually got that one done before I finished the other ones. And it was my lowest one.
Yeah, Merchant, a lot of people dog on the Merchant ones because it involves a little bit of running around, especially solo, because you have to get the crate and then take it you have to take the map to the ship, get the mission, then go to the dock, get the crate, put on the ship for all the ones you need, then fetch the animals and return them in individually. It's a lot of running, but it's a lot better because you can pick the loot you're going after. You get told right here you're getting 2 gold chickens, 2 gold pigs. Those are your high value ones. If you're doing a gold hoarders, then you're like, here's an X. What am I digging up? and maybe it's captains or maybe it's marauders or whatever. But the merchant missions are sweet money because you can dictate what you're picking up to some degree, and it's they're known locations. The islands always have the same animals. So once you have in your head, like I do, we need pigs and chickens, and we're at Ancient Spire, so we're gonna go to Thieves Haven because that's where pigs and chickens are. And once you have it all memorized, it's a lot easier to just rip through it and make some good money.
Yep.
Yeah, and if you don't like the particular mission because you have too many, yellow pigs, pink pigs, whatever, spotted pigs. So, and you want the gold ones, you just abandon a mission and pick up a new one and pick up more crates. And the only risk is once you get sunk, you lose all your crates.
Yeah,
and at that point, it becomes very hard to fulfill that particular mission.
Yeah, I guess the only two downsides to that are if you do get sunk, it's the one mission you really can't finish because you lose your crates and you can't get more. Also, and the other loot, the skulls for the Order of Souls or the chests for the gold hoarders, you can turn those in anywhere, any outpost. But the merchant missions are delivered to a specific outpost within a certain time. So if there are ships there, it can get a little dicey. But it's definitely, to my mind, the most profitable way to go. So the easiest one to grind up.
Funny. Yeah, and that's like the other one, like you said, it's single player easier on that one, and then the other two are better with friends.
Yeah, the gunpowder ad made the Order of Soul missions a lot easier for single player. Because before the gunpowder skeletons were around, you could play that and spawn in, and there'd be 5 or 6 pistol-armed skeletons, and with no one else to be shot at, they would all just shoot you, and it takes 3 shots to die, so you could croak really fast. It was a lot of respawning. But when they spawn with a gunpowder barrel, if you're quick with a pistol, you can even the odds really, really fast.
Cool. And so there's not many, as Peter was saying, there's not many PC or non-PC pirate legends out there. So
yeah, there's only 0.27 that have that achievement.
Correct.
Wow.
Well, and that's PC and Xbox, right? So from that particular one, there are like even less, less that have Xbox. Because we've seen Pirate Legends, and they're all like PC players.
Yeah, by far the majority of Pirate Legends are on PC right now. So, being in an Xbox Pirate Legend is definitely some rarefied company.
Yeah, I think it's great, and but Nate has definitely put the time in. The three of you have definitely put the time in.
But I'm pretty sure that crazy one has more missions than me, because I've done a lot of forts.
Right. Doing solo, I wasn't doing forts, so I've done a lot more of the grinding than the merchant missions and such. And so definitely that is not the fastest way to go.
I have 48 forts done.
Yeah, I've got probably 10.
Wow. Yeah, you guys have definitely put the time in. Like, the three of you have to have like 400 or 500 hours of this game.
It doesn't tell you the hours, so I was confused.
I would love to see what your hours are, the three of you totaled up, because it's got to be immense. Like, this is all you play. Like, even the other day, like, hey guys, play some Vermin? No. Okay. So, every time I look, it's Sea of Thieves. But
the thing is, it's so good. Like, we can talk all day about
playing it right now.
Yeah.
They're playing it right now. They're not even paying attention to playing it right now.
It's it's a great game. I'm telling you.
It's crazy one.
People get. I'm not set up to play in this room. The Xbox is in there. I could stream it to this PC over here, but I'm okay. Here's the thing. People still like to talk about the reception this game got. Its scores and such. It's so much better than it got scored, and it's not for everyone. Not everyone wants an open world and a sandbox. Some people want a tight narrative to follow, and that kind of thing. But the times that we've had and the stories we've made, just the three of us, and then with Fast or Jack or Cooper or anyone who's come with us, we've just had some amazing times. Frustrations, victory, surprise, humor, like when Jerk over there pranked me with a barrel, or we're turning in the skulls for Nate's 50, right? Nate's turning in 50. We got this last group of skulls, and he's turning each one, and every time he turns on, did you get it? Did you get 50? No. Did you get it? No. And those are the skulls actually right there. I'm looking at the wrong screen, but yeah, we're carrying the skulls in for his 50 right now. And I grabbed one of the most valuable ones, the villainous skull there, and I just kind of stood over here in the corner, out of sight, and I just held it. And he's turning in all these skulls, and did you get it? Did you get it? Did you get it? Okay, we got them all in, and he hadn't made it. And I'm like, and he's like, I can't, he's like, I didn't make it. I'm like, oh wait, this goes in? You want me to turn this one in too? And so we turned it in, and of course he made Pirate Legend, and it was awesome. But yeah, no, like pursuits and dealing with cheaters. Like we came across cheaters and fought them to a draw, which is outstanding. I mean, we actually even better than the draw because we got away with our loot. We didn't sink them, but they were cheaters. So whatever. Yeah. We still got away with our loot, and we scuttled our ship so we could deny them the joy of sinking us. And we had a dance party on the dock and waved and played music and flashed our lanterns at them like a big F you. Yeah. And so it's been so great, and there's more coming. Like just we've been doing the diving for statues thing. That's been fun. We did the Skeleton Thrones. I'm terrible. I was awful at getting to the throne. That was fun. And the big expansion is coming. It's going to be larger than the Hungering Deep. We got the Cursed Souls coming soon. They just did a trailer on that. That looked awesome.
I have the trailer. We're going to watch that in a second.
AI ships, and they're adding the Alliance feature, which will be kind of nice too for all those types of events where you need more than one ship's worth of people, because it'll be real easy to find out right up front who wants to do what together. And I'm very interested too. I had this idea, we were talking about it last night, about Alliances and Athena's quest, because the Athena's voyages are crazy profitable, and Nate's going to be able to handle those out like Tic Tacs. And the thing is, if we had 2 ships or 3 ships on a server somehow, I'm not sure exactly how to work that out yet, but if you got on a server and you had some ships and you allied up, you share missions and loot. So because an Athena's quest is 8 maps and they're all over the place, if you had 3 ships, maybe they could sail in different directions and work on different pieces of it and just burn through those things like crazy. So I'm really interested to see how that's going to work. But yeah, an amazing game, amazing time playing with Nate. I'm so happy we have an Xbox Pirate Legend in our crew, and we're gonna have more.
Yeah, HGK is close.
Well, yeah. Still close need like 8 for 8 more on all 3 of them. So the grind is real.
Yeah, well, and that's what keeps me from probably playing it as much as you guys. Some of it's time, and you guys know what's going on with my dad, so right. But it's once or twice. Like I still think the most fun I had in this game was that night that we met up with the Megalodon, and we met up with that other ship, and it was just an absolutely cool time. I know like Jack in the chat room has done some stuff with you guys, the Fastback, and it's cool because you can go in and out like that, and that's always neat. I'm sitting in the 13s on stuff, and I can still come in and
right,
and join you for a night.
That's the best part.
And
the enemies aren't harder. It's just still you.
Right.
No matter what.
But one of the other things, because I wanted to talk about No Man's Sky tonight, but this applies to this game too. Rare could very easily have given up after a month of they did see some, they saw some drop in their player base. They saw some things, some of the newness wore off, and they weathered a storm of criticism for lack of content and things like that. And instead of packing it in and just saying, all right, well, so much for trying that game, they really have not only stuck with it, but the content that they're bringing is filling out the game very nicely. You're seeing things you hadn't seen before. You're seeing all these new quests, all these new voyages, and we'll play this real quick. The Cursed Sails is coming, and that is a new ship.
Yep, my Brigantine.
Yeah. Let's take a look.
Very excited about the brig.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Cursed Sails.
As you were saying, with the sticking with it, their communication has been pretty spot on too.
Great. Yeah, keep trying to get Craig. I'd settle for Joe.
Yeah, definitely would take Joe too. Deadly Daily too. She would go.
Trying to get you guys to play with Freddie Prinze Jr. too.
That'd be cool. Last thing with the Alliance is coming up, no one would have to walk the plank to make room for him.
Yeah.
I think there's an homage to Spinal in this coming up.
You think?
I think when that captain laughs and he, makes it so, and the ship goes down, I think it sounds like Spinal.
That's pretty sweet.
Yep.
July 31st.
July 31st.
Thank you very much for watching. If you want to stay up to date with everything Sea of Thieves, then subscribe to our channel.
Probably
and
means
click
they're
that
gonna have
little
a regular
ship bell
week
for all
next
those
week.
notifications.
No adventure.
Cheers.
Could be.
So
Halo Jesse 3.
we're getting a brand new ship, the Brigantine, which is for a crew of 3, and then of course the Alliance, and there's going to be a time-limited campaign as well.
The coolest part is that the AI ships will stay, so more enemies for everybody.
Right.
You just don't have the what
You'll get some special rewards.
Right.
So you get
Yeah,
some-
those
Well, the
will
nice thing about
disappear
it is-
after the
Right.
the
Well, the nice thing
periods.
about it is there's always something to play for, and then there's always something that it always ends up adding to the game permanently. Like when we did the Hungering Deep, of course the Megs got added to the game. I love
Yep.
the Megs. Oh, I love the Megs.
and
They're so great.
they've stuck around.
Right. But I have my Megalodon Shark Hunter figurehead that I love with the glowing eyes.
Oh,
Not everyone can get that now. That was a limited time thing. So that's kind of cool like that.
Yeah.
Little exclusivity, and that's a word that gamers love,
Still
So
can't- there's nothing I can get over about that water.
yeah, the water's still. I mean, it is. I just love being in that world. I'll solo. I'll play a cruise. I just want to be in that world all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I know that you do. You guys are the real deal when it comes to this game. I mean, there's no doubt about it. There is absolutely no one that I would whose credentials playing his game I would put up against you guys. It really, you guys have earned. Nate's earned his pirate legend. There's no freaking doubt about it.
It was. You guys remember the battle we had with that ship that pursued us after we had the key? And we were fighting at sea, and then the Megalodon shows up and starts chomping on both ships at random.
Yeah.
It was just so great.
That is, it is.
That still gives me a heart attack every time I hear that roar.
Oh yeah, that's like super loud, super deep and dark.
Mm-hmm.
It's fantastic.
Good evening to Stinking Corpse and Doomhammer. What's up, boys?
Hey, Doom. But yeah, we've been playing just tons of it, and like I said, if you're into like last night after I recorded the gameplay for this week's Retro Rec, I had the choice a little time before I had to be in bed. I could fire up my Switch and Project Octopath Traveler, which I was, I've been waiting for that game. I love the concept and the art and all that. The music. I was like, I can't wait for this game. It's going to justify having a Switch. And I could have sat down and played that, or I could have soloed in Sea of Thieves because I missed the boat for the crew, but I could still be in the party and talk to them while we're soloing, and that's what I ended up doing. I ended up not picking up the Switch at all to solo and Sea of Thieves because I could talk to the boys while we were doing that. So, it's a social thing. It's just so great. I think it's a really kind of daring take on multiplayer too, to go with the kind of progressionless, almost level-less system. It's a really fresh, daring thing on Rare's part to just toss out the whole gamers are going to need some kind of prestige system or something to keep coming back, and it's just, I don't know, I love the game so much. I took a lot of flack on Twitter the other day for saying that it's my game of the year, but I would stand
hit when the thing Stinger says is going to come true when you can stream it to your Switch.
Yeah. I guess I took a ton of flack when I said it was my game of the year. Horizon 4 is going to be my game of the year, most likely, as Forzas typically are. But my non-Forza game of the year, it's going to be really tough for anything to beat this.
I mean, just the fun factor is so super high. It's tough to beat at this point. That's why it's going to be, definitely a go-to contender for me as well. But yeah, I mean, Forza.
I think it should. I mean, there's a multiplayer piece to this that should be. I mean, best multiplayer game kind of thing. This should be in that category, most definitely. There's. I don't know. It's hard to imagine other games that would take that away from this. If for all that it's been through, it's still one of the biggest multiplayer games out there right now.
Yeah,
next to Fortnite. I mean, obviously Fortnite's
new things every other week. I mean,
yeah,
and they need to take that where if you join a friend's game in other multiplayer games, it doesn't matter too. That thing is huge. I mean, you can hop in and have fun.
Yeah,
right. And Fastback's right. Games like Destiny, Call of Duty, you can feel left behind if you don't play it very much.
Mm-hmm.
So even games like Rainbow Six, and maybe not Rainbow Six as much. You could use maybe not Rainbow Six Siege as much, but like Ghost Recon Wildlands, you can get left behind very quickly.
Destiny.
The Division.
The Division was I was thinking, yeah.
You can get left behind very quickly.
Right.
So, but this is a game that you don't get left behind, and so I understand that. So this should contend for at least some multiplayer awards, at least.
Well, I mean, not only that, but the crew element is huge because when we're out there and we're doing a skull fort or something, and for us to successfully defend our position at the fort from an aggressive galleon requires so much communication and teamwork and being on everyone picking a job that they're doing that second and doing it and keeping up to date with each other. It's a very developed skill. You can really tell when you're up against a crew that has it and a crew that doesn't.
Right.
But it's not even just as much as the combat has kind of a surprising depth to it like that. The other night we had so we're at an island, we're doing our thing. A galleon comes along and we're watching it and it gets krakened. So we're keeping an eye on it, see if it survives. It does. Eventually it comes towards us and it's going to cross us up, or it's going to be where it's got guns on us and we don't, and we have loot. So we're moving the boat, and they take a couple shots and yell over the speaking trumpet that we're cowards, and we sail around the island. We We go around, and they must have thought we were actually leaving or something. But we decided, well, now we have to F them up a little bit because they said we were cowards. So we pulled back around, and they had stopped. And we did a nice slow pass. Nate grabbed a gunpowder barrel. The three of us worked the guns about as well as you could. We pounded the hell out of that boat with cannon fire. It went down before Nate could even get the barrel into it.
Yeah.
It was just wrecked. And then we went to do our thing again. And it turns out there was a straggler. There was a female player actually that was on the island, and was apologetic to Nate. With the speaking trumpet, she's like, sorry about my a-hole boyfriend or whatever idiot boyfriend she might have called him, right? And so we're like, that's cool. These things happen. So we did our job. She didn't mess with us while we were finishing up our stuff, and then we did their mission because they were there to hunt skeletons. So we just killed all the skeletons and piled up their skulls on the beach for them for their loot. And when they came by, I said, "Here you go." And it was we didn't say it a lot, but it was kind of implicit that here you go, and never F with us again because we're benevolent masters of the sea, and you don't want none of this. But it's so good like that because you can have that interaction. You can just decide, hey, that now we're going to be cool with them. It's not instantly automatically everything's a fight, but
Right.
Yeah.
it's so good. And also I want to dedicate this whole section of the show to Whitty, but.
Stop. It's dedicated
Done.
to Nate.
Done.
Dedicated to Nate. So congratulations to Natty Red Gals, pirate legend. NLG has its own pirate legend.
Yeah.
Yep.
Soon to have a second one.
I will
once
drop
once-
whenever someone needs anything.
Yeah, hopefully me and Juan will be joining the ranks soon.
Yep.
We'll work on it.
No,
That's all we can
fantastic,
do.
guys. So speaking of Nate, the most interesting man in the world. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So check this out. This was announced. Actually, a very decent-looking Spider-Man console. Hold on.
It looks great, but if they would have messed this one up, I don't know how they would have messed it up.
Right, I gotta say it does look good, but it's it's kind of easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least they make them and sell them.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic, and it looks good. The gloss is real nice on the red. I like that.
Yeah, look at that thing.
Even the controller, if the controller might be a little plain, it's not bad. So,
Yeah, it's not bad.
No, I don't know
not
why
bad.
people. I don't know why people bag on the controllers too. Everybody, it's like every one
Well-
of these systems, people bag on the controller look. I think the controller looks great.
I mean, it looks okay, but I mean, it's no Sea of Thieves controller.
No, but it
I
looks.
would go back to
No.
the Gears Elite controller. That Gears
It's-
Elite
It's
controller.
not this.
No,
This
it's
is-
not
this is
that.
hot.
It's not. But I'm saying every time a bundle like this comes out, somebody they all hate the controller. What What are you looking for? It's like I remember I remember when the Battlefront 2 controller, Battlefront 2 bundle came out with the Darth Vader controller, and everybody went berserk. And I'm like, why? It looks great.
I didn't care for the color scheme on that one. I thought the colors on it weren't great. When you look at the controller, it's perfectly fine. It's okay. It's no, my favorite bundle of all time is probably my, and I get that I'm saying my in this, but it's probably my R2D2 360. That Star Wars 360 was, that's an amazing LE, and the C3PO controller with the extra decal, the little the wires and all that. It makes that controller look uninspired.
Well, it's matching the. It's supposed to be matching the console.
Yeah, like I said, it fits. It's good. It's not bad, but it's not the controller doesn't elevate it in the same way. Say the Minecraft Creeper controller elevates the Minecraft.
No. I agree with that. But yeah, at least to get these. I'll tell you, it's Comic-Con's coming up, like San Diego Comic-Con, and this will be my yearly. Nate will tell you this will be my yearly session of looking across all of the very awesome looking Xbox custom consoles that they're going to bring there that people can win, and you look at them and you go, if you sold one of these,
Mm-hmm.
you're
Well, the
just-
thing is, I think those are harder to mass produce.
well, pick one. Like,
Right. I mean, they could do one.
A
But I mean,
Deadpool
like,
one looks
like
pretty
the
good.
Spider-Man, it's very easy to
Yeah.
mass produce.
One of my favorites was the Rare Replay console. Look, I mean, it was beautiful. Then there was one from the Division.
Mhm.
You know, it's like it's not that hard. Like I'm going to show you. This is the best selling bundle. I think still. I don't think it's been. I don't. Next, well, maybe the Destiny one might have outsold this one, but so far one of the best looking bundles out there has always been the Batman PS4 bundle. Now that had a great looking controller on it, but like I remember when this came out, I'm like, why can't Microsoft do this? Just something like this. Instead, I guess at least you could buy a skin to put on top of your Xbox One to make it look like an OG.
Yeah.
So
I think that the my favorite PlayStation looks probably top 3. I think the best one, in my opinion, was the God of War one, because I like that they put the axe to it. Right. Then probably the Destiny one. I liked the art, the kind of
Taken
graphics
King
on that.
one was phenomenal.
That one, and the anniversary one that looks like my OG, my PlayStation 1 one. That looked pretty good too.
Yeah, I remember that one. Hang on, I found the just for giggles. This was the God of War one. I'm getting very good at finding crap on the fly. Very good at finding these pictures on the fly. Here is the God of War one, and that one, you're right. It had the axe on the side of it and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
except
I like
it doesn't. Except you have to know it's an axe, though.
True, but if you look at the controller,
But it looks cool. I mean,
yeah.
just the patterns and stuff looks cool.
Yeah, but look at the controller. The controller has got the God of War on the touchpad, and it was
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely a higher effort controller than the Spider-Man.
Yeah, but I don't know. I still like the look of it overall.
It makes sense a little bit for the Spider-Man one because the console has just a clean symbol without a lot of embellishment. So I get why they did with the controller. Just when I look at that and I look at my Sea of Thieves, I just kind of
No, I get that across the Sea of Thieves and the Batman controller and all that stuff. So Nate's got this one coming. Are you going to keep this one this time?
Yes, I am. I want
Ooh.
to. Black Friday coming up. I'm gonna have some good Detroit Being Human, hopefully.
Yep. Well, they're gonna have sales. So, it's, the
All I remember is Xbox sale last Black Friday was insane. How cheap things were,
yep.
even digitally.
Well, they got one coming up. So they got one actually going on right now too.
It's not as good.
It's not nearly as good. I looked across it and I really didn't find much I wanted. So Fastback's saying put some blue in there, but I kind of get this. It's the red. Like if we go back to the beginning of this
I thought
video,
the red and the blue should have been on the controller. I don't mind the console itself being red.
that's why I think this is why it's red and white because of the kind of the logoing. So, but you're tell everybody how you got this there, Nate.
Oh, I just got they sent me a birthday gift and no, I ordered some 360 controllers and the gift was a free PlayStation with it. So
Wait, what? That's not how this went down.
that's exactly
That's how it originally went down.
You're telling me that you got that as a birthday gift when you bought your controllers.
Yep. It was a buy two get one, and the controllers I had to pay for, but the system was free.
You are the most interesting man in the world. I don't even know what else to say. That is wow. And then so you traded it in.
Yep, I turned around and traded it in for the new Spider-Man one, which I'm excited for. I guess it comes September 7th.
Nice.
It's coming at, yeah.
I didn't know if it came out the same day, but I guess that makes sense because of the game.
Yeah. Man. I want to be like you when I grow up.
You can, Dad.
No, I'm trying to find a real quick picture of something too. It's a little here it is. It's a little unrelated, but it was something I watched a little earlier. So those of you playing at home, if you see this, tell me what this looks like to you, and you are probably correct.
I know what that is.
Nate knows what it is too.
Yep. It is
Peter, do you know what it is?
Castle 1870.
Yes, it's Castle. They're coming back for another season.
It's Buck.
Huh?
It's Buck.
Yes, but no. You're close.
It's something that Sony should be hit across the head for.
Yeah, Sony needs to really suit up and do this. So, even though it's not, it's nothing official. This, I'm looking for the guy's name. Alan Unger, wrote a fan film for Uncharted and got Nathan Fillion to play Nathan Drake for this little 15-minute thing, and it was flippin' awesome. And he looks like Nathan Drake. I mean, he looks just like him. And so if you get a chance to, just Google search Uncharted fan film, and it's on YouTube. You can watch it. It's about 15 minutes, and it is fantastic. So, there's a prequel coming with Tom Holland, and that's an official Sony movie. But they should get rolling on something like this too, because I would definitely watch Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake in a full on movie. So, all right, next. Thought that would pique Nate's interest, seeing as how he's a movie guy.
Of course it piqued my interest. And I like him.
Yeah. Alright. So, since we talked about one game that has stuck by its guns and continued to improve,
Astroneer?
Peter's favorite game.
Yeah, no, it's not Astroneer. Astroneer sucks. that's just my opinion.
Fair enough.
They can keep it.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing like people running around.
Yeah.
You know, if I could make a ship that looks like a Colonial Fleet Viper, then that would help. Rovers, all kinds of fancy new stuff. Holy crap, space combat.
Yeah, it's much appearance on this guy.
What's that? Part 2.
funny that you say that because that is really this is like the Taken King, and this is a big. Let me see if I can get there again. And this is a large, and that's putting it mildly, update to this game.
Well, it's not been. I mean, it's been steps to get here. Like they've had like the rover for a while.
Yeah.
And things, but yeah, no doubt that it is a big. It's a big turnaround.
Oh, absolutely, and and of course it's multi-platform now, so you're getting PS4, Steam, Xbox One, and the there's so much out there for this game that Hello Games is, again, much like what happened already with Sea of Thieves. Hello Games got it worse because they got laughed off the internet with with their original game. And if you really think about it, they're another one who I honestly thought Hello Games was going to close up. I thought they were done. I thought they were going to close shop. And instead, Sean Murray got to work. And I gotta hand it to him.
Look, anytime you get bust by Yoast at as hard as they got bust, and you pick yourself up and go back to work, then you gotta applaud that.
Yep. And
because they got straight thrown under the bus.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And like I said, I thought they were gonna close shop. I mean, Sean Murray disappeared. You didn't hear from him for months, and then they came back with their update, and then it got quiet again. And then all of a sudden, we're seeing an almost brand new. It's almost a brand new game, and it's coming to a platform we didn't think it was going to come to with the Xbox One. And we're getting some of the things that they originally promised. So,
well, I think that not coming to Xbox One, I think us thinking that is basically still just a carryover of people wanting to hang on to the idea that third-party exclusivity isn't dying.
Well, that was back when.
I mean, that's all pre Hellblade and pre Nier, So I get that, but I think. That and the media's tendency to not port beg for anything that's coming to Sony to come to anything else.
Well, but when they did port beg, the Sony rep stepped in front of Sean Murray and said, "Next question." So I mean, this was one where people were asking, "Is there going to be an Xbox version of the game?" And before Sean could open his mouth, the dude behind him with the Secret Service headset on stepped up and said, "No more questions," and drag Sean Murray off into a cage to take him home.
Right, I mean, but then the media said, "Oh, okay." And
because
and in any other case, if it was an Xbox game, they'd be the next time that person spoke, they'd be asking him, and the next time after that, and the next time after that, until they.
That's just it. He went on a media tour, and then Sony locked him up in a room somewhere, and then came out and said, "Well, we're treating this like a second party game." So they had their hands all over them, treating this like this was a.
They gave them prominent E3 stage time.
They very much did, and so now that's what I'd say. I mean, now they're for them to come back from that is damn impressive. So you could have. So we're gonna get the multiplayer, which is why you saw all the people up on the screen there. It's according to some of the things I've read, you can have 4-player parties, and you have all your items and ships that you have and all that stuff. There's no range limit on your party. You can appear in the same place as the player you join, and then go wherever you want, and stay in the same game.
Right.
So that's
nice.
That's nice. But I think you have to have the same game type. So you have to be playing the same game, either normal or creative or survival.
Reasonable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's new bases that you can now build bases anywhere, including underwater, on mountains. You can build your base out of up to 20,000 individual pieces. There's a mission tree for it. You can base build with a capital ship owned by a party member. There's a third person viewpoint now. So they're adding a behind the scenes. You saw that kind of in the video. Tell you what, I'll play the video again while we're talking, just so in case people didn't see it and they're coming in late. And because I can, I'll just turn it down. You can change your helmet, your suit, your species. They've tweaked the HUD. There's a new scanning view. Worlds can be peppered with buried treasure. There's all kinds of stuff that's in this thing. So they really are, and it's still all procedural. So it's still all, every planet's different. Every place you go has different life forms. Yada 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 yada. Now, I know Peter and Super Cooper both played a lot of this. You got the game at one point, right?
I have the game on PlayStation.
Okay.
So
you'll be able to get the update.
I'll be able to get the update. Also, I told Jeremy that if he would get it on Xbox, I will buy it on Xbox as well, so we can do the co-op stuff.
So that's going to determine what I do, because if you don't get the Xbox version, then I'll get the PS4 version for that, and then we can play. If you get the Xbox version and Jeremy gets it, and maybe if Super Cooper double dips too, then I'll get it on Xbox. Now I will say that getting on the Xbox, we'll get the X enhancements, which I already got.
Yeah, we get that special Xbox suit.
Yeah, so when ICANN has TV, I'll be set. So that is one nice enticing thing. Was there a Pro update for that? Because you have a Pro.
I don't know. I haven't played it in so long.
No. But I know you want to. I know you said you were going to stream it when it hit.
Yes.
Which is
August 7, 9, 8, somewhere there.
Let me see.
I think.
Something like that. Did it? The video didn't put a date on it. No.
Well, when does it hit Game Pass is my question.
Not sure.
Oh.
It's not been mentioned, but I'm just saying that I think that is when I would expect to play it, because it looks great and everything, but it's not in my budget. So if it comes to Game Pass, I'm all over it. If not, I'll wait for like a sale or something. But
maybe it all depends if Microsoft buys the studio.
That would be hilarious.
That'd be hilarious. Yes. So, Sean Murray on Inside Xbox was also quite the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of funny because I read it, like, he hates giving interviews and stuff. So
actually, on their now this was in May, so this may have been pushed, but this is supposed to be coming July 24th. So this is supposed to be coming on Tuesday.
Wow.
So we shall see.
We shall see.
We shall see. Nate, any interest in No Man's Sky?
I am not interested in No Man's Sky.
I'll probably
Not
just
enough
keep
to
playing
grind.
No Man's Sea myself, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, look, it's Imperial. Yeah.
Unless I couldn't hear it, and then it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm interested. If the multiplayer is good, because you know me, I like a good co-op multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, even when when I saw the streams when No Man's Sky just came out, it still looked interesting to me. I think people just had their, it didn't manage the expectations.
Well, that was something that a developer that I follow, Defiant Dev, who made Hand of Fate and Hand of Fate 2, both of which I loved. They were talking about being a small developer and the importance of no, being able to tell people when they're asking you, "Hey, will this be a part of the game?" Sometimes you don't want to tell them no because you don't want to turn off someone before the thing is even in preview. But sometimes it's important to tell them that's not something we're planning on adding right now, or it's not in the budget right now, or whatever, to manage those expectations. Because that was really what killed. Two things killed No Man's Sky, and not obviously didn't kill it because they didn't close. But I say two things hurt No Man's Sky. One was badly managed expectations. Two was the lack of anything like a Sony preview program. Because if that was in a preview program like Ark was, or any number of preview games that I played, like Slime Rancher, which is actually coming to PlayStation like right soon too, and people should look at that because it's fantastic. But those preview games, they let the developers get the feedback that they need and manage those expectations and maybe you lose a little bit of your ta-da, here it is on first day, because of that. But I think it would really would have benefit a game like No Man's Sky.
Right.
Well, I think if Sean Murray didn't say there was multiplayer, I think that would have staved off a lot of that. Because a lot of that came from the fact that he pushed that multiplayer aspect, and that multiplayer aspect ended up being I could plant a flower and you could see that flower if you logged in. Instead of just saying, no, it's something we're going to add later. Like Nick Megan did with Raging Justice. Hey, why isn't there online multiplayer? Well, we wanted it, but we couldn't put it in. We're going to work on it, and that game doesn't have to be in preview.
Right.
I don't know that I agree necessarily with. I think games that are that need to be in preview are unfinished games that the developer feels are unfinished, like Ark, like games like that. Like, I don't believe this should be in a preview any more than I believed Sea of Thieves should have been a game preview, which a lot of people said the same thing. Oh, it should have been game preview. I don't believe that. I don't think a game like this would. I think what happened is Sean Murray wrote checks his development studio couldn't cash. And that's what happened. Because they could have easily continued to add content like they're adding now, and kind of staved off some of that hate by just being honest about what the game was when it released.
Definitely managing expectations would have been the number one thing. I personally think that Game Pass lets you do that.
Game Pass, yes. Game Preview.
I'm not Game Pass. No, I'm saying Game Preview. Yeah, Game Preview lets you do that because you're a part of the. You're a part of the. Like a good developer with Game Pass will take feedback and add that to the game. So it's even beyond managing expectations. The developer gets to get feedback before the thing even hits the shelf.
Okay, so what
people would have had the opportunity to say, "How come I can't see this guy when we're on the same planet?" before having spent $60 on it, which that will go a long way towards the game's not being getting the negative press it got.
No, I agree, but I don't. But again, we use that now. Like, I've heard this on multiple games. This game should have been a game preview, and it's like saying it's like asking the question: should State of Decay 2 been in game preview? I mean, it was a lot of it was kind of broken when it launched.
Yeah, no, I don't think that game really would have benefited a lot from it, because it wasn't like conceptual stuff really that changed a lot. It was polish more than it was. It was, it wasn't like they had to add missing multiplayer or they had to, I don't know, try to add content like Sea of Thieves did or anything like that. I think it had what it needed. It just needed.
Well, like when we talk about game preview too, it's like I'll give you another good example of one that is one that's supposed to be there, and Peter should know because he's played it and he'll get a chance to play it again soon. We Happy Few, which was lacking the entire story mode.
Right.
A game like that. And I think the reason Ark was in game preview was because they weren't out of their beta code yet.
Right.
I think if you're using your final code, I think you roll your dice and update. At least now you can update your game. Imagine still being back on the PS1 and the Xbox and the PS2 where you couldn't update your game. Well, you launched it how you had it.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're in an era where you can launch your game and then just update it. Even up to the day even up to the day that the game launches, like a day one patch.
Right.
Going gold doesn't mean anything anymore.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a check in the box.
It's a milestone of, hey, I finished the bulk of the game, but I'm going to take the next 3 weeks and add the rest of it in, and you download it.
Right.
Right.
So, I don't know. I tend to draw the line at a game that's still in its active development. I guess is what I would think. A game preview game would be. It's like something that's not something that doesn't go gold. It hasn't gone gold.
Sea of Thieves could have still not Sea of Thieves. No Man's Sky could have still been that. It got delayed. I didn't like Schreier get death threats over the delay.
I don't know. I don't care about him.
I know, but I'm just saying. I think it was famously delayed. I think it was pushed back to and he had broke it, and people were upset, and that's why I remember it. But I'm pretty sure that it took a pretty long time to develop. And that time it could have been in some kind of preview program if Sony believed in such a thing. Not all of them do, obviously. Not every game needs to be in preview. Like you were saying, State of Decay 2, I don't think really needed to be there. But I know Fast is saying that dude got death threats for what launched, Murray. But I want to say that it was this game because it wasn't like Uncharted or it wasn't HCD that got that on push on it wasn't those that Schreier broke, and I know he got threatened over it, so I'm pretty sure it was this.
He might have, because this is the only other game. It's the only game Sean Murray's done. No, but yeah. So the game also is looking a lot better than it did when it launched. Very colorful, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I look forward to playing that again.
I look forward to seeing you play it.
All right.
So, and I
guess that can be arranged.
Have we figured? Hold on, let me look at. Is it really $60?
No, it's $50.
Okay.
49. Which is a little,
Well, if it's got that much more content in it, then
true.
I could see it being it's $49.99. I could see it being worth it if it really does have everything that they're saying that it's going to have. So $49, I got about $6 or $7 in my Xbox money, so it'll be down to 44. It does say online multiplayer 2 to 4 players, online co-op, HDR, 4K Ultra. So that would be the better place to get it, just graphically.
Right.
So, decisions. You have to let me know what you do. If you're double dipping, I'll get it on the Xbox. If you don't, I'll get it on the PlayStation.
I got it on the Xbox and PlayStation.
You've already ordered it.
I already pre-ordered, so.
Nice.
Here's the other funny thing about it. The game is only, and I know it's because of all the procedural stuff they're doing, but the game's only 8 gigs. It can fit on an Xbox 360 or PS3 disc. So
nice.
But it's a lot of that has to do with the procedural generation. I've anybody who has followed what procedural generation does, when it does it at its potential, you can pack so much into a little bit of data. And the fact that you have a base set of textures that can just pop up anywhere, you basically just tell them it's all data. It's not like you don't have a graphic artist that is that's having to draw all of this stuff in scenes. You feed the computational data into the engine, and the engine just kind of builds the scene for you. So that's how you can get away with doing that with such little space. So
right.
We talk about it, and I'm getting interested in it.
Yeah.
which I was not.
I said that a while back too. It's like it's just like should I pick it up for the Xbox or not? I just wanted to play it again.
Well,
so that's when Jeremy says I'm thinking about picking it up. It's like okay.
Well, because now we can play it together, so that's a game changer for me.
Mm-hmm.
If it didn't have the multiplayer, I wouldn't be interested in it.
Right.
But the multiplayer seems like it could be fun.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing too, which I did not read anything about, is whether or not there is if it's just straight up exploring, or do we have things to do?
I think there's even PvP.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can even shoot your own friends. I mean, you can even attack your own buddies. But I mean, PvP would more be it would be along the same lines as Sea of Thieves, where you just run across somebody else and do you want to attack them or not? So I think that's the other thing too, is is this just open world, do whatever you want, or is there any kind of mission structure that you can pick up?
I don't know.
It probably still has the original whole, journey to the center of the universe, and that whole thing probably still part of it too.
Which could be pretty cool. Which could really, that could. So maybe it's a make your own kind of adventure thing. Take 3 guys with you and find out what else you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
So, you could really be hypocritical and say, well, it's great for a game like Sea of Thieves, but not great for a game like this. If it's the same style, if you like one, it's a good chance you're gonna like the other.
Yeah.
So,
it's kind of cool that you can swim and stuff.
Right. I think the difference between this is just it's a bigger map, so to speak. But if it's a choose your own adventure game.
Yeah, but there's something to be said too for it not for non-procedural generation, like the idea that I know I can go to Smuggler's Bay and I can go to this spot and I can find where Xbox Hope and Xbox Addict's book is, and it's there, or this island has these creatures I want, or I can use this particular island as a shield against ships because there's a sandbar I might run them into or whatever. The non-procedural element, I think, can be a good thing too.
No, but I'm more basing upon the the point of the game, I guess. What is your goal while you're playing it? Is it to, get in fights with other people? Is it to go mine for things? Is it to go fly around? Is it to just go see what's around there? It's the same kind of it's that same kind of freedom you have in those other types of games.
Elite Dangerous.
Right, that's another one.
Mhm.
What do you do while you're out there? Do you go sailing to a fort? Do you go sailing to go get loot? Do you go find other ships to go blow up? So I think you've got, if there's I just haven't seen anything on structure here yet. And what's up, Organism? I guess Friday night works for him. The only one that told me Friday night no longer works for them because of their job was Sam. I was talking to Sam Tolbert last night, and he's like, "I've got to be the only one who Friday night doesn't work for anymore." So, anyhow, I'm intrigued. So when you get the update on the 24th, I'm gonna watch you play it and see what's what.
See what it's all about.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So, all right, let's rock and roll on here. To the retro rec.
You gonna do a retro rec, or you want me to show off my little?
Oh
gadget?
yeah, you want to do that? Yeah,
Let's do that first.
Let's do that first.
Let's do the little
Let's
gadget.
go back to yeah. Let's.
So Amazon had their Prime sale going on this week, and they had this cute little.
Hold on, wait a minute. I'm gonna blow you up.
Oh. Little Destiny Ghost for just $10, and you hook it up to your Alexa, so we can say, Alexa, ask a ghost about the tower.
It was located in the last city along the outer wall. After the attack, there was almost nothing left. At least we have memories of dancing like nobody's watching. Except I was watching.
A whole bunch of things.
That is
and then it also
fantastic.
ties together with your Destiny game about your clans and other stuff. I don't buy those game gadgets or any ornamental stuff that often, but I thought this was cute, and it gave me a reason to buy one of those Alexa Dot devices.
But it's only $10, so like
It was $10.
Nate would not be interested in it at all.
No, that's pretty sweet for $10. How much did the dot cost?
The dot was $30.
The domestic
Not
dog
bad.
is a member of the genus
Alright,
Canis,
stop.
which forms part of the wolf-like canids, and is the most widely abundant terrestrial carnivore.
All right.
I don't know why I thought I heard. I thought I heard something.
Yeah, it's on yapping
Canis.
for the next.
That's what I was hoping
question.
I heard.
No, it's,
Canis.
yeah, no, it's she kept it decent.
Nice.
So yeah,
$10. And where did you get it?
Amazon. I was
Thank you,
doing-
Fast.
doing
That's
the
what I
Prime.
thought she said too.
Yeah, hear what you want to hear. See if you have a dirty mind. That's what you hear.
That's right. It's us little 12-year-old kids over here.
Exactly.
Well, that's really cool. Is that all it does?
That's all it does. All it does is it has a speaker in it. You have to keep it hooked up to. It doesn't have a battery, which is a drawback. Yeah, it just has some. It's all Destiny related stuff.
Alright.
So for $10, that was worth it. It's a little pain in the neck to hook it up if you're because you set it up with Wi-Fi. My SID was longer than 9 characters. Doesn't like that. It uses the last 9 you entered because I happened to add another one, a guest Wi-Fi with just the last 9, and it magically all of a sudden worked. A little sloppy, but
A little bit. Well, that's
Yeah.
cool. Very cool.
Yeah, very cool.
All right, now we can go to Retro Rec.
yes.
on the Retro Rack.
Yep.
Ready?
Yes, I am. So this week we're going back to the Nintendo Entertainment System for a classic brawler. We got Double Dragon 2: The Revenge, circa 1989 on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Developed by Technos Japan. They were founded in 1981 by 3 former Data East members. And their early games were actually published and distributed by Data East, Karate Champ being one of them. They were famous for Renegade, Double Dragon, Super Dodgeball, which is a great game, Super Spike Volleyball. They actually went bankrupt in 1996. Their IP is bought up by the licensing company Million Company Limited. It was published by, at least in Japan. In Japan, it was published by Technos Japan, but in North America, which is what we're referring to, it was published by Acclaim Entertainment. They were founded in 1987. They actually started strictly as a publisher, so they were farming out development or localizing overseas titles. They were multi-platform. They published games for a variety of Nintendo, Sony, Sega, and Xbox hardware, along with arcade cabinets and Windows software as well. Later, they purchased Iguana Entertainment, famous for Turok, of course, Probe Entertainment, and Sculptured software as well. Many of their games were licensed from popular entertainment, comics, TV shows, movies. They also were responsible for ports of many of the Midway arcade games in the 90s. Between the 90s and 2004, they went from being one of the most successful publishers to defunct, with Throwback Entertainment acquiring more than 150 of their titles in 2010. I could actually do like a whole retro just on how they ascended and all their studios and titles and everything, and deals with WWE and lawsuits from the Olsen twins and all kinds of things, but they couldn't get too carried away there. The gameplay here is single player and cooperative 2-player beat 'em up, which was kind of a new thing for the series. It was adding the second player was something that the first Double Dragon on NES did not do. Players control Billy and Jimmy Lee, the Double Dragons, on a mission to avenge the death of Marion, Billy's girlfriend. The co-op was offered in 2 forms. You have the form where you can do the friendly fire type damage, and forms where you can't hit each other. You may have noticed as the video was playing and I was talking that at the start of this, we had Billy beating up Jimmy, because that was one of the little kind of tricks you could do if you started a 2-player game and you had Billy beat up Jimmy. Every time you took away all of his life points, you gained that life. That's why we have seven 1-ups, if you will, here for our playthrough. And so that's kind of a little pro tip there for this game. There are 9 stages that players battle through, encountering mini-bosses and environmental hazards and platforming. Before each of these stages, a cutscene of still images and text, which is done kind of similar to the Ninja Gaiden game, provide the setting for each level. One big change between this and the original game was this game adopted the arcade version's directional attack. So instead of having A and B be punch and kick, they were right attack and left attack, and the result of that depended on which way your character was facing. So if you're facing right and you're pressing A, you'd punch. If you press B, you'd kick the other direction, but that would flip-flop if you change your direction. So that was kind of a throwback to Technos' earlier Renegade game. Also, unlike the NES title, you have access to all of the characters' moves from the beginning, whereas in the original NES game, you had to level up and acquire more moves. But in this one, they're all available, including the Cyclone Kick, which was introduced in the second game. This version of the game also introduced 2 moves that were only on this version of the game: the Hyper Uppercut and the Flying Knee Kick, which I think I use on one of the boss characters here. But basically, those attacks are punching or jumping when you're crouching, but the only time that you're ever crouched is when you've just landed a jump or if you're getting up from a fall. And so if you jump right when you're getting up, you do the flying knee. If you punch when you're getting up, you do the hyper uppercut, which are actually quite powerful. That was one right there. Along with the a different final boss than the original game. They changed it from the arcade version from a repeat of the first game's boss to an unknown, a kind of unnamed martial artist that uses the supernatural powers. But along with that new boss, they introduced 2 new character types. We saw them in the helicopter scene just there. There were the right-hand men, and also there's ninja characters that were added, and both of those characters kind of act as mini bosses throughout the game. There's kind of interesting differences between the Famicom version and the NES version of this game. Both of them had 3 different difficulty settings, but the Famicom version was the only one that let you play through all of the stages on any difficulty. The NES version, you could only get to the final stage by playing on the hardest difficulty. In the Famicom version, you could play all the stages on easy, for example, and play through. Also, the difficulty is a little bit different. Here are some of these right-hand men, but new character. But yeah, in the Famicom version, the platforming was actually easier at each setting than what it is on the NES version. But on the hardest difficulty, the enemies actually have more life. So it's just kind of interesting how there's a small difference between the 2 ports. One similarity between this version and the old NES, the first game, was that at this point in this game, you'll never be attacked by more than 2 enemies, and they're always going to be of the same type, which is kind of a limitation of the hardware at that point. And Jeff points out in the chat that Arc System Works picked up a lot of those IPs in 2015, and yeah, I just didn't get that far into the history. Everything I read up was through 2010, but that is true. That's something I didn't get to. The info on the reception of this game is a little bit scarce. There wasn't a whole lot to find about reception at its time. I know that the Double Dragon series was pretty big. This game did go on to be. There was a TV ad that aired sometime after release that proclaimed it as a million seller, which would be pretty big for the day. That's pretty impressive for the day. But there's not a lot of critic information I could easily find quickly about the reception at the time. Nintendo Life website in 2012 gave it an 8 of 10, and the Game Zone in 2012 said that it stands tall as one of the console's most memorable beat-em-ups, and that it far surpasses its predecessor due to the added co-op mode. It's readily available online pretty inexpensively, and I think it was between $8 and $15 I saw copies going for on eBay. I want to say I paid like $12 at the local secondhand shop when I picked it up, but it's Double Dragon. You know, everybody remembers Double Dragon. It's kind of a inexpensive add to your Nintendo Retro Collection if you're going to build it, and it's got that good couch co-op going. It's kind of fun to play with a buddy, especially if you kind of have to play careful and not hurt each other. So that is why it is this week's retro recommendation.
Thank you.
Nice.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
Always get to pour one out for Acclaim too.
Right. Yeah, there was a lot of good titles, but they had a really fascinating history. If I had really wanted to spend more time kind of gabbing on it, that you could really go deep with all the different stuff, like how they worked with the WWF at the time so closely, and then eventually the WWF or WWE moved on to another publisher, THQ, right, and they ended up signing the ECW for a while, and just lawsuits and drama. It was interesting. But
I used to visit them because they still, to me, now I always talk about how great MLB the Show is as far as baseball series, but the best baseball game that was on the market was from Acclaim. It was their All-Star Baseball series. And it was one of the first series that had kind of that behind the back fielding, and I actually, we got so close to them. We used to go, like 3 of us used to go up to New York once every 3 or 4 months to go visit with them So we got to see their motion capture studio, and when they did
Actually,
their Legends
Acclaim.
of Showdown.
Yeah, Acclaim was actually one of the first publishers to have their own motion capture studio.
Yes, they were, and it was really cool. And they did the Legends of Wrestling Showdown, which was one of the things that kind of busted them at the end. And I still to this day I remember the phone call I got from my friend there that he when the day they shut the doors, and he said he walked up to the door and there was a note on the door that they were closed, and he called me in like tears because he had worked there for 20 years and I'd known him for 8 or 9 of those were doing work with Dreamcast HQ and an NLG, and it was just, oh my god. And just like that, they were gone. They were just gone. But I wonder if I can show this, because this is really cool. And it has nothing to do with Double Dragon, but
I just want to say real quick about it. One of the things that I had that game when I was a kid, and just got a copy again, because I lost through time. But it's actually a really pretty challenging 2-player. Like if you get through the whole campaign on the hardest level with 2 players, that's a pretty good achievement. It's maybe not quite up to Battletoads because of what Battletoads is, but yeah, it's right up there with like the Ninja Turtles. If you can do that co-op, that's a pretty good achievement.
Oh yeah. Let me see if this works. Will it play? This is All-Star Baseball 2005.
Mm-hmm.
This is Acclaim. This was, but you'll see. You had the behind-the-back fielding.
In the center field.
So you actually,
yeah, that's pretty cool.
I love that. But even back then, I mean, all of the animations that they used, the commentary was all like top notch. It was just, God, I miss them.
Yeah, there was a time they were, one of the top publishers. Pulling in 400, 500 million a year.
Yep. Well, they had the Mortal Kombat license for the consoles. I mean, you're right. They were one of the premier publishers. And then they had the part of it was the Iguana Entertainment that they had.
Yeah, they had some controversies. Like there was a deal where they were going to offer, I think it was $10,000 for someone to name their baby Turok as part of a promotion that didn't go over well. Yeah. And then also for one of the games I really liked was I think they had Shadow Man, because they had Shadow Man 2.
Yes, Second Coming.
Yeah, and
I remember this. I think
there was a deal where they had purchased or rented, or they were gonna use actual tombstones and
yep. Well, they also got sued by Mary Kate and Ashley because they put out some games from there and never got paid for. I mean, it was
right.
And then remember Dave Mirra, the Dave Mirra
Triple X game.
Yep.
That he totally stepped away from.
Yes, he did. So,
yeah.
But they had so many. Of course, they also were. If you ever watch The Angry Video Game Nerd, they were also responsible for a lot of LJN stuff, which was the bane of video game existence. So.
Well, what was the one I loved so much? It was, I wouldn't say it's a great game that holds up, but there was I want to say it was Acclaim and LJN that did the Bigfoot game, and I was such into the monster trucks when I was a kid.
Yep. Well, they did that. They had Arena Entertainment, Flying Edge. Flying Edge was the other one. That was like the Genesis stuff that had like Arch Rivals and Bart Simpson. They had The Simpsons. They had Smash TV. They had Spider-Man. They had. I mean,
What did I play from Sculptured?
Sculptured.
I played. I remember seeing it in my head, but I don't remember what game it was.
They had like they had stuff like Roger Clemens MVP baseball. They had Sculpture did MK3.
Could be.
WWF Rage in a Cage, which I have for the Sega CD. I think they did some of the WWF stuff. They did Doom on the SNES.
Okay, that could be it. Did they do the Star Wars games?
Did they do
like Super Star Wars? I bet you.
They did. Yes, they did.
That's what it was.
That's what. Yep. They did it for. It was published by Nintendo, and it was published by JVC. Actually, was that Super Star Wars?
Okay.
But it was developed by Sculptured, and LucasArts.
There it is.
Good grief. And then they went on to do Super Empire Strikes Back. Did they do Super Return of the Jedi?
I never played the first two, so I'm not sure.
Man. You know what we have to do one day? I don't know how, might end up just being you and I, Juan. But we have to do tributes to these old companies. I've got plenty of old game footage.
Oh yeah.
Like that, like you saw there from the I'd love to do a retro look at Midway, for example.
Yeah, or Codemasters. Comerica.
Yeah, well, Codemasters is still around.
Well, right, but I'm just saying at their retro stuff.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean.
But it would be great. Retro Konami is like the best.
Oh yeah, retro Konami.
I have so much retro Konami, it's ridiculous.
No, but I'd like to do some of the ones that are defunct. Like I still consider THQ, like the old THQ, defunct, even though they've kind of come back as THQ Nordic. But I'd love to talk about some of these old companies and the stuff. We could go on for a while about that. So, but since it's 11:43, we're not tonight. So, anybody have anything else pertinent for this week? I know it's been a slow week. Before we rock and roll out of here.
Well, I mentioned it before, but I'll say it again. Anyone who's got a PlayStation, one of my favorite games was Gold. I think was a game was Gold. Was Slime? No, it came out in Game Preview.
You said Slime Rancher.
Yeah, Slime Rancher.
It's Game Pass because I've got it.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Games with Gold. It wasn't Games with Gold.
I think it was in Game Preview first, though.
Okay, but it definitely was a Games with Gold because I have it on my system and I didn't buy it.
Right, but it's such a great kind of farming sim thing, pet collecting, but it also has like a cool exploration, almost like story kind of thing going too, almost mysterious, and yeah, it's coming to PlayStation, so people who like PlayStation and somehow also like me should keep my words and pick it up.
All right, Peter, anything else?
Nothing.
This is what happens on slow weeks.
Yeah.
Nate, anything? Pirate Legend, Nate. I'm telling you, I'm gonna fix I'm getting on your computer this week. We're gonna fix your computer.
Oh, that would explain why I wasn't talking correctly. Is that better?
Yes, that's better.
Yeah, a whole lot better.
No.
As the show ends.
As the show ends, right?
Yeah. There was a piece. Well, these are news, so there's a tape covering the mic.
Oh, shut up.
Is that better now?
Nate fell overboard.
Just a squirrel hair better.
This is great. Yeah, we're gonna fix your computer this week. That's all. I'm gonna work with you on your computer.
Okie dokie.
All right. So.
Hope you have a hammer, Nate.
Yes.
Rubber mallet.
Put him in the brig.
Fixes everything.
So I want to thank everybody in the chat room as always. It's always a fun time in there, and I do want to thank the channels that have been hosting us this evening, which is Adamob Baby 420, that HDK 360 guy again, our friends over at It's Much More, our Dreamcast buddies over across the pond, the Gamers Lounge, and Meg's the Girl. we thank you guys for rehosting our show, and hope you guys will maybe come and hang out with us here and there. John and Megs, whoever you are. I'll find out who she is. Anyway, thank you guys all. Next week, so real quick, next week we are moving our time slot back 30 minutes, or ahead 30 minutes, or however you say that. So instead of 10 o'clock, we're going to begin starting at 9:30.
Yep, because Juan's got to be up the next morning at like 4:45.
Yeah, and we do not want a tired Juan. A tired Juan is not a good Juan.
Pirate one.
Yeah, cranky Juan is not fun for anyone.
No.
Fun.
Cranky Juan is not fun. So we're gonna move back to 9:30, and that way we can get ended on a good time so he can go to sleep. All right. Might take a 10-minute break, and then we may stream some stuff at 12. Maybe a little late night Mike on the couch.
Cool.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Let's see your feet.
Let's play our theme.
I don't know. Rick, who was in the chat room earlier, I don't think we got to see him because it was during the Retro Rec. Might want to play some more Graw. I could go for some more Graw.
For me, the grind is real.
I know it is. You have such a love-hate relationship with that game.
Oh yeah.
I love how you tweet out, by the way, I hate this game, I'm never playing this game again, and then there you are. So.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I was saying.
There's some very dark moments.
Yeah. It's like I was saying. There's some frustration. You get that time. I mean, it happens to me too. Like, it's great when I maybe get a little dark-hearted and a little black-hearted and ambush somebody and take their loot and sell it and kill them, and yeah, it's all fun. But when someone does that to you, it can be pretty. But it's like when we were a crew and we had been playing for 3 hours, and some group's trying to take away our whole boatload, and it's a whole tense fight, and we're angry about it. Our stuff, it gets pretty dark, but it's so great.
Well, there you go, and I think Jack sums it up good. You guys get frustrated because you care.
Yeah.
So
pretty much.
All right. So yeah, maybe we'll take a 10-minute break, and then we'll fire the stream back up. And if Rick wants to do a little Graw, whoever wants to join us is welcome too. Otherwise, we'll see you guys next week at 9:30. Don't forget to check all of our other great content that's here on the NL Gaming channel. And don't forget, we are still looking for streamers. If you are interested in doing some streaming but don't want the hassle of setting up and running your own channel, we'd love to have you.
I'd love to be streaming again soon, but they still won't let me have more than 5 megabits upload speed.
Yeah, that's kind of grab.
It's really terrible.
It is. So yeah, we if you are interested in doing some stuff, getting out to our Twitch folks here, let me know. Come find myself, come find Peter, Juan, or Nate, and we'll get you squared up. All right, everybody have a great week, and play on, gamers.
Game on, guys. See you thieves.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Crap.
Ghost Recon.
You know what? I'm just going to play the intro again until I fix this. Somehow the outro doesn't work anymore, so I got to redo that. So you know what? We're going out to our new intro.
Sweet.
Because that makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense in an NLG kind of way.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's how we roll.
Right.
That's how we roll.
There's that sexy music fast.
Mike Couch.
All right, guys. I'll